Thank you, B&H. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, David, for inviting me back. And thank you all for being here. Just curious, if you were in New York City during the 70s, would you raise your hand? Ah, so you came. Well, you might find someone you know here. Deborah already did. Okay, so I thought I'd share something that's really new to me, is that I've learned how to promote myself. And so today I'm going to be an open book and share whatever you want to know about doing this, because it's been a learning experience for me. Okay, so I'll call it Meet Your Publicist in the Mirror. And before, the reason I took a photography class is in '72, I went, did anyone else go to the Museum of Modern Art and see the Diane Arbus retrospective? That moved me. Those pictures spoke to me. I related. It was great, very influential. Graduating, getting my master's in art, I wanted to came back to New York. My family was in Long Island, but I wanted to take a class with Liz, excuse me. Coming back to New York, I wanted to study with Lizette Modell because she was Diane Arbus's mentor. And going to her class at the New School, you had to bring a portfolio. And I brought a portfolio of photographs of my friends and family. And it was a big line to see her to get admitted to this class. And there's one picture, when she picked it up, she showed it to everybody else. This got me in. She said, picked it up. You should show this to John Skarzowski, curator of Museum of Modern Art. I was in the class. Did I ever show it to John? I can't even say his name. Did I ever show it to the Museum of Modern Art? No. Did I ever make an appointment? No, I was too shy. You know, my old motto then, and we're talking about 1975, I'm not ready yet. And here we are, 40 years later, I have a new motto. The other way just didn't work. Didn't work for me. I was showing my work from here and there, but no one ever heard of me. I barely heard of me. Last year, June 2014, I published my first book. And it was a result of many things, networking, putting myself out there, just really reaching out. It's like, you know, like you, I have so much work. I have so many photographs. I have a huge archive. And this first book was a little miracle called A Tale of Two Cities, Disco Era Bushwick. And I could talk more about it, but it was really like guerrilla publishing, a small place in Bushwick that decided to publish my work. But that's a lot of reaching out to other places. And it contrasts the street photographs I took in Bushwick. Well, I happened to be teaching there for 13 years, contrasted with my disco days that nobody had ever seen, or I should say my disco nights. No one saw them because I was a school teacher. And then 53 weeks later, another book. And from the same publisher. And this one is a prequel. It's the story before Disco Era Bushwick. Because I realized people ask me, why are these pictures so funny? You know, like the backgrounds, the environment is so funky, but the people having fun and laughing. And I realized I literally needed to step back and explain where I am coming from. And also all the publicity I have and making the book happen made it a possibility to have another book. And this explains a little bit where I'm coming from. In this new book, it's about Long Island, where I was raised, where I grew up, and the city, where I came to live for the first time in '75. But it was always, any Long Islanders out there, suburbians, okay? So it was always like I was, in and out of the city. My dad had a printing company here. My family's from the Bronx. But on the left, that's my family. My mom, dad, my cousins, my aunt, uncle. It's Rosh Hashanah. And I come from a background of humor, of laughter. And trust me, my family, myself, we know tragedy very well. but there's something about it that has always been humor as well. And so, of course, the background where I come from was very different from what I came to live in New York City and also Bushwick itself. And then romping around in the city, going to places I always liked as a kid, the circus. And someone who works here says she was in those cars in the circus. So going to backstage to Ringling Brothers. Or my aunt and her boyfriend, she's like, we were not married. My Aunt Rita, who just celebrated her 90th birthday, and again at a Thanksgiving. And the time period, it's new Mayor Koch being interviewed by Stanley Siegel. It happened to be the day of my parents' divorce, right there outside. And the time period, a little background of the time period, this is a time when you could go to CBGB's, and that is Patti Smith singing Gloria. I mean, I'm not the kind of person who likes to watch someone on stage and just blast away. I'm not a paparazzi, never has been, but this is Patti Smith singing Gloria. So I took that 2 shots. The other one's in the book as well. And you could be at a rally and be right next to Allen Ginsberg, anti-nuclear rally. And a little bit more background of the time, so we have to think about what it was. It's like the rising of feminism in full swing. That's Gloria Steinem, but she happens to be, these are like, this is really a memoir. This is my cousin. This is my 4th cousin, Barbara Seaman's father and my grandmother, first cousins. But Barbara Seaman was responsible for your warnings on birth control pills, and she got a literary award from Gloria. And yet at the same time, every day on Fifth Avenue would be this guy. He was a fixture. When did the fixture go away? He seemed like he was always there. And of course, the contrast of environments. When I started photographing, because I was going to school in Wisconsin and taking pictures, coming home on vacations and developing and showing the contact sheets, the professor said, "What is this? What are these places? What do you mean? I've never seen anything like it. What's with this decorations? What's with the backgrounds, all the stuff?" I said, "This is where I come from. Everyone's house looks like this. This is normal. This is our homes." I thought, I was shocked that it was so foreign to someone in the Midwest. And yet he said, it reminded him of the photographs he took. This is Cavalier Ketchum of Native Americans in New Mexico, but people put objects that represent, so almost an anthropological study, we're a time capsule. So a friend's mom in her butterfly bedroom, and my dad at his office. We have some organizational issues. He was a printer. So for me to have a printed book is just right, because I'm a printer's daughter. And here's my mom. At the time, I did my mom at home and going to see a Broadway show. And she's probably saying, "Do your parents know? What do they think?" At the time, in 1978, I also had the first and only time I ever made a living as a photographer. I received a CETA grant, the Comprehensive Employment Training Act, which was like the WPA of the 70s. And my project was to make a photo archive of Jewish New York. So a lot of this Sassy 70s book has that as well as just my friends and family and where I was going. I took pictures of people I knew since I was 2 years old. The neighbors 2 doors away. I just got together with that family. We had a North Massapequa Girls Club reunion, compared to going out to the discos tonight and seeing the village people sing up close. That's my older brother. I have 2 brothers. We're a close family. We stick together. And that's him at his wedding. And compared to CBGB's, this is Elda Stiletto. She's someone who should be known more. Debbie Harry was in her band. Okay? And recently I found out we actually we're going to connect because we actually made contact. She's around. She's well. She's healthy. She's a grandma, but she really should have a bigger reputation. So in CBGB. And of course, shopping, shopping, shopping. Kids shopping out in the Pathmark. When Pathmark came out, it was like 24/7 shopping extravaganza. That was shocking at the time. It was very unusual. And compared to a nanny, most likely, and a baby walking down the block where I lived on 92nd Street. Some of the pictures in the book, people think it's the South Bronx. It was 92nd Street at Amsterdam. New York has become a very hot spot. A best friend, she was the head of the North Massapequa Girls Club because she was 1 year older than all of us. And about to have her first baby, and now plus she's a grandma. And then part of my CETA assignments with the American Jewish Congress, I was documenting different events that the artists were doing, whether it was going to a nursing home or doing a poetry reading or a street festival. So it was an adventure going out to Far Rockaway. I realized, it took me time to realize, I didn't, besides it just became my job, or for the year when I go to some places, I never went to photograph. I always photographed where I was going. Of course, growing up in Long Island, you went to Plainedge School District, you go to Plainedge High School. Unless you happen to go to parochial school. Everyone went to the same high school. And so when my little brother was going to his high school prom, my friend and I, we escorted them because she had a Rolls Royce. I'll tell you more about that later. But to see the principals that I knew, the assistant principals, something I knew very well, the crowning of the prom queen, compared to this lovely family at Purim and Williamsburg and Queen Esther. And here's my mom. This is the only picture that someone who loves you would let you take. It's my mom getting her hair teased at Besame Beauty Salon. And Besame Beauty Salon is still there on Broadway in Massapequa. And recently I found out through some reporter who's doing a story for a magazine that there were beauty parlor wars in the 70s. It's like beauty parlor wars, like rub-outs between beauty parlors, literally rub-outs. I didn't know about that. So the beauty salon compared to the hairdo at CBGB. Disco era Bush was more of the disco scene. This is when I went back a little bit to the punk scene. It's my mom at my older brother's wedding. So that tease really became something beautiful compared to this beautiful human being I don't know on the subway. And people ask, like this gentleman up front, did you know these people? Usually, no, but usually I ask permission because that's part of who I am, or seems like a easier thing to do than make somebody mad at you. And one of my friends in Long Island, who before she even got her first apartment, moved out, she saved up money and bought a used Rolls Royce. And we escorted my brother to the prom and took breaks in between to fast food stores. And here, this is right on 25th Street near my dad's printing company. And I mean, there was such style. This plaid suit's very similar to the bold sassiness in the wallpaper to me. The work of August Saunders and documenting what people did for a living. Well, this is my Uncle Louis, Uncle Lou Forcash. He was a butcher. He had his own butcher shop in the Bronx, and then he took it easy. He worked for somebody else on Long Island. And here's a guy feeding the large animals at the Ringling Brothers Circus. It's amazing what people do for their professions. Uncle Lou always cut the meat at every celebration. There's a whole other thing I've realized doing this process, of which I guess is memoir, is part of realizing that I had then and now that I like to go on adventures around and go to different kind of places. My parents belonged to a mystery club. And you might think a mystery club, what do you think a mystery club might be? Okay, well, they didn't make mystery novels. That for over 2 decades, like 12 to 13 members of this tight group of friends would plan a mystery evening out and send strange invitations to everybody else to show up at a certain time in a certain place, what you needed to wear, if you needed to eat beforehand. The only rule was that it couldn't cost more than $25 a couple, including entertainment and food. And if they had to rent a bus, it could have been a little bit more. And they went to some really strange places, really fun places that they might have to edit them out of this video. So I would dare say, it's talked about in the book, but my parents and their friends had a hoot. They really had a lot of fun and a lot of laughter. And so this is a mystery club family compared to the Bowery back at the time. This is probably one of the rare occasions where I didn't ask that person, but I knew the person photographing them. So a lot of the people in the book are the mystery club people. And it says that, so like this is a mystery club, the father who lived at the home and the son. So it's like, we realized we had a unique upbringing to be able to know that your parents were going out and they were just so tickled to be going out laughing. They're going out for a mystery evening, and the next day you heard about what they did and you couldn't believe it. And it was just so imaginative. And soon afterwards, in September '79, a lot changed for me because my CETA grant ended and I really needed a full-time job. I was a freelance illustrator, so I became a full-time school teacher. And so this is going on one of my first class trips. Classroom management and bus trip management is not easy. Another mystery club family. Mother and daughters. And then compared to the circus. And Deborah, who works at B&H, knows this clown. She literally knows what these clowns are. They were so talented, so amazing. And so the Mystery Club really knew how to clown around and have fun. And doesn't mean all their life was joy. I mean, literally there were Holocaust survivors among them, but they found the reason to go. Day camp, I went to Girl Scout camp. I was a counselor at day camps. I visited day camps, and then of course coming to New York City. Who remembers the summer of '77? Remember Son of Sam? Yeah, that was like this was in the heat of Son of Sam, and his targets were usually people around my size, my height, sitting with somebody in a car. And here I was with my friends sitting in a car at Coney Island, and I thought, we are really out of our minds. But we went on the Cyclone, and there weren't a lot of women there out that night. Again, with my friend Leslie, just taking a break from our prom duties, Burger King, and then going with my friend Judy to from one club to another. Rejected from Studio 54, our doorman wasn't there that night, so we'll go someplace else. It didn't matter, it was endless entertainment. And there's still good times happening now. We're just at a different point of our lives. Okay, here we have, everything's connected. It's my friend Rhonda's mother's second wedding. And this guy's dancing. He is magnificent. And here we are on Fifth Avenue, the Easter Parade. And that guy with the Carter, stop women's lib. He was there too. He had his beat on Long Fifth Avenue. And these very handsome boys with their matching suit, their dad. This is my little cousin, Jennifer. This is your, okay, it's Rosh Hashanah. In fact, the 10 Commandments are in our bathroom. And this guy on the right is CBGB. His name is Stiv Baders. He was the lead singer of a group called the Dead Boys. This was their final concert. And Stiv Baders had an accident. He is actually buried, his ashes are with Jim Morrison in Paris, one of his heroes. The group on the left, little boy whose face is being dunked. I babysit for that kid since he's 2 years old. This is his bar mitzvah. So these are very close relationships. And the guy on the right, this is my grandmother's first cousin, Henry Rosner. And his map of Israel, he's married to somebody named Ruth Gruber, who's who's 104 years old and still kicking. And I mean, she was fundamental in the bringing refugees here and founding of Israel. This home still looks like this. And here we are out. I spent a lot of summers, a lot of Fire Island in there, out in Cherry Grove, the Pines, Ocean Beach, and Memorial Day weekend. The Miss Fire Island contest, the winner in his American flags, and then I had a friend, Mr. Katz. He lived to be 99.9, and the mayor of Grand Street, and going with him to his senior citizen home. To me, it's like the diversity of New York City itself. Look, all the kinds of people who belong here, and God bless America. Someone here, Amy knows me. I've actually been getting a lot of press on my shows in the past few years, and then leading up to the books, and it's been a steady thing, and I found a formula that's worked for me. And I'll tell you, I just kind of figured it out, and so I'd like to share it with you. And there are different formulas, but I'd like to share what's worked for me. And I really get a lot of press. And I am my own publicist. So this is just a little inkling. And I'm not any better than anybody else. Your work is just, when you look at those pictures, you probably thought, those are pretty ordinary pictures. A lot of money, even better. Of course they are. So, a little bit of secrets. Anyone here besides me have trouble writing?
Yeah.
Oh, it's painful. But it's really important. I'm not talking about artist statement, which I've discovered, I was so scared of that for so long, and realized, don't try to write an artist statement like anybody else. Just write what's on your mind and write it again and again and again and again. Press releases are so important if you want to get press. And I looked at know who my role models were? I looked at ICP. And I said, so it's a one page. It has, where it is, the date, what's happening, an image with it, and a one-page essay that describes what's going on, catches your attention, because most people in the press, or many things, they grab everything from that. And then they might ask you other questions. But it should be self-explanatory and really grab you from the heart right away. Not longer than one page. People actually read them and send them out. So, and it became a formula for every show. The same, you can see I use the same layout. I cannot underestimate how important a press release is. And if you're having a show with somebody else, collaborate, work on it together. Spin it back and forth, have someone else do it, but send it out. You can buy mailing lists, you can just start sending it, you can research people online, find their info, emails, send them out. And you can see the formula continued. Where it is, the dates, what's happening. And I also think a really important thing, if you're having a show and it's up for a while, have events to go with it. So it brings people in. So change the layout a bit. It's still the same thing. So once you get used to it, you just do it again. Physical reminders. Oh, yeah, I'll pass this around. I'm having an event tomorrow night. Please take it. It'll be fun. It'll be at the Ace Hotel, very different. If you think there's no fun and DJ scenes going on, come here tomorrow night. It's free. Postcards, your business cards. Postcards for the shows. They're important too. Not even to mail out as much, because now there's other ways of mailing things out. You should say what it is, grab you on one side. Sometimes even back, I found out that I was invited to be in a Brooklyn Museum show because a curator I kept on sending postcards to actually saved them. It might be the only thing that anyone sees from you is this physical piece. So send them to the important people that in your dreams you'd like them to come to, if you have time to. And everyone else, just walk around with them, hand them out, drop them off. And so just the place, the name of the show. To me, I think the name of the show is important, like the book cover. And images that kind of gives an idea what it'll be about. And on the back, like I say, I like to have events. The show's going to be up for a long while, as long as possible. Make it interesting. Bring people in another way. And also, it's more interesting for yourself. Invite performers. Invite your friends you know I know you have interesting friends who can address the same topic in a different way. It's good for everybody. Networking is extremely important. Like, I belong to a network called Professional Women Photographers. The person who wrote the introduction to my book is from my group, PWP, Professional Women Photographers. She wasn't a famous writer, but yet the New Yorker has quoted her twice. Hello? You're someone who knows your work well. And also, in the last few years, I've been a part of Bushwick Open Studios because I have this work about Bushwick. It's a very important network. It's amazing because groups together bring more attention. And again, every show, what's going on, how to get there. Yes, you can Google it, but you want to see which stop it is. The hours. This is something that's I think is very effective. These e-blasts, and I can give you the names of places, they're all free online. I mean, free up to 2,000 names. I've actually gotten past 2,000 names. So it costs $30. It's like, there's a lot, and I'll give you the names of afterwards if you like. There's so many different venues. I know you get them. They're visual reminders in the mail. And so here are some of mine. Here's for my first book launch. So when someone opens their email, they see a visual, and it's also in text. So if they don't see a visual, the information's there about what's going on. And on the bottom, I include the press release. The same, you spent a lot of time writing it. It was painful to writing. It hurt. I could have oral surgery. That would have been more fun. Put it out there, because once you have it, it's there. Pump it out. Boom, boom. And again, it's a formula. Once the person who designed my books also designed my MailChimp. I'm lucky. I'm married to my designer, but you can do it. They even give you templates for doing it. And now I just plug in different pictures. So you make it a little different. And what's going on? What special events? And coming here, it's like, okay, I haven't annoyed anyone too much. I'll wait a few months, and again with the next blast, come to B&H, come to this gallery, come tomorrow night. This is what's happening. But now I've gotten even bolder. I've gotten sassier. I've started putting the links with information about the press and what people have been saying. And that's a new branch of sassiness for myself, to say, you know what, people are saying terrific things. I can quote it. They could do it for the Broadway shows. I better do it about Meryl or Meryl's work, because if I don't say it, who else is going to say it? They said it. I want it out there, and they do link to the articles. And again, how to get the book, and these tools are great because they could forward to a friend, they could share it, they could tweet it. Okay, so this is invaluable and free. It's time. Yes, it's time, but once you set it up, it's easier next time. And then that's that devil called social media. And yes, my Facebook is, I do communicate with my friends and family, but I also do share articles or let people know about events coming up. And a lot of artists are on Facebook, and sometimes I say, well, this is my friend, and that friend has the guts to be friends with that person. Well, I could try, and so I get a lot of mileage, and learn about each other's work. Also on LinkedIn, I have to say I don't use it as enough. As someone else said, most people who pay your bills are on LinkedIn. But again, I share information. And those mass mailings, they have a tool that you can easily put it on your social media. Then there's Twitter. What I've learned from experience, be very careful about what you retweet. Don't take what you get about a petition or something. Media is not always right, and be careful. I learned from my mistakes. So be really careful what you put out there, unless you research it. But I certainly could put out information about shows I'm having or events, and as well as someone published an article. And I always thank you. I always thank the person who wrote the article and give them credit. You're an artist, you're a photographer, you want credit. People who write, they want credit too. Okay, give them credit. My website is not complex, but it's the same message. Boom, boom. It's the same message. This is what I'm doing. There's a signing, there's exhibit, there's some. I don't have a lot of photographs up there. I should keep a blog, but I don't. It's very outdated. But there is a way to contact people, and it's a way to archive, and it's a way for people to find you. And probably all of this, a lot of it sounds scary, right? It's foreign, it's like, I don't know, I'm too shy, or maybe I'm not good enough, or why not you? And maybe it's exhausting. Yeah, it becomes a full-time job into itself. But at least I don't have to pay myself. I wish I had deep pockets. I don't. Anyway, and what I was a public school teacher for 31 years. I don't have deep pockets. Okay, so I do it myself with these other groups, my networks. So this is one of the pictures that it's in a blog it's in a printed magazine in Germany, and they say it's the South Bronx. It's 92nd Street between Columbus and Central Park. So it took me 40 years. People cross deserts in 40 years. It took me that long to get to know this person in the mirror. And it's okay, because be willing, we live long and keep going. So I hope that you get a little more courage and ask more questions about how to do this.
Whether you're a hobbyist or a professional, B&H has the answers to your questions. Experience a world of technology at our New York City Superstore. Connect with us online or give us a call. Our staff of experts is happy to help.